Shalom, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone. And citation, you all can teach all truth and sincerity. This can be called Isaac loved Esau, um, because Rebecca, loved Jacob, but Isaac, he loved Esau. So this is Genesis 25 verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And that's usually why Isaac loved Esau, because he ate of his venison. But Rebekah, who you know, some brothers would say a representation of the so-called black woman. Example of representation of the so-called black woman. At that point we had so-called nigger woman on our side. At that point, the side of our forefather Jacob, you know, which was his mother. But if you read up, I'm gonna get one verse up, which is the 23rd verse, because the prophecy was, because Esau was a different nation than Jacob. Jacob was the Israelites, the righteous seed, and Esau was the wicked seed. This is Genesis 25 verse 23. And the Lord saith unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. And that's the prophecy that came to pass. Because Esau, he came out first, and Jacob came out second, holding Esau's heel. And that prophecy came to pass. The elder Esau is supposed to serve the younger, and Esau's going to do that. In the kingdom to come. But also, I always think of this when how the elder son is supposed to get the inheritance. Well, Esau, he's living out his inheritance now. He's ruling first. This is his kingdom. He's in rulership. This is his heaven. Sooner or later Jacob is gonna be in rulership, and we're gonna have our heaven. But our heaven is gonna last forever, and it's gonna be an age of righteousness. You know, and while Esau right now he's his this is the age of wickedness, and you know but at one point, soon, very soon, he's gonna be taken out of rulership, and the kingdom of heaven is gonna be set up, and Jacob's gonna be you know ruling on the earth forever. You know, I'm gonna go to this is Genesis chapter 27 verse 19, and it says, "And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn, and I have done according so like I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, eat, set and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me." And you know, Jacob supplanted basically Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob supplanted the blessing. And but to me, it was predestined for Jacob. I understand, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, or predestined Jacob to receive the blessing in the first place, because that the way it was supposed to go. Read verse 20. It says, "And Isaac said unto his father, Slaki, and Isaac no, and Isaac said unto his son, Slaki, and Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son?" And he said, Because Yahweh thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, because Esau was a hairy man, and Jacob was you know, a, a smooth, plain man. Um, and he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brothers Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, art thou my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Um, and it says, his father Isaac said unto him, come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of the raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which Yahweh hath blessed. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine, and let people serve thee, and nations have done Slaki, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. Let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. So, yeah, and that blessing that Isaac gave to Jacob was the kingdom of heaven, to have dominion over the earth, to have these heathens in captivity, to have the plenty and abundance of riches and glorious gifts that and blessings. Those that's the you know and not just for Jacob, but also Jacob's descendants. Because and Esau despised that. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna go to Romans 9, Romans 9 and verse 11. It's Romans 9 verse 11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to the election might stand, not of works, but him that calleth. So it had nothing to do with um Jacob, Esau, whether they did good or evil. It's all about the purpose of the Most High, what he ordained or who he picked to be the righteous, and who he picked to be the wicked, who he predestined to receive the blessing, who he didn't predestined to receive the blessing. It was all about who he chose and who he didn't choose. And they didn't have to do anything. Because they weren't born yet. It all was what's the word, being orchestrated already before they even were entered into the womb. You know, um, I'm reading verse 12. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. It says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid. So there's no unrighteousness with the Most High. He chooses who he wants to choose to be righteous or wicked, or to be an Israelite or a heathen. Like, he chooses who he chooses. You can't go against his decision. You know, if he loved Jacob, he hated Esau. He has somebody he chooses who he loves. He chooses who he hate. He can have mercy on who he have mercy. He can have compassion who he have compassion on. Who are we to say who the Lord will have mercy on, or who we have compassion on? We have no authority to do so. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna go to Malachi chapter 1 verse 1. It's Malachi chapter 1 verse 1. It says, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein have thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh. Yeah, I love Jacob, but I hate Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the drags of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, and I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have an indignation forever. The Most High have righteous hatred towards Esau, Edom, forever. He's going to destroy their kingdom, which is Babylon. He's going to bring down their high places. He's going to totally obliterate their rulership off the face of the earth because he hates them. He's going to put them in captivity. He's going to bring them into captivity along with the rest of the heathens. Like he hates this nation. Just because Isaac loved Esau, that didn't change the point that um that Jacob was predestined to receive that blessing. That Jacob was predestined to receive that birthright. Like just because you may like somebody, the Lord may hate that person. That doesn't, like you can have a favorite person, but the Lord can be against that person. You get what I'm saying? Like anyway, this is Hebrews 12 verse 16. This is Hebrews 12 verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator, a profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. It says, for ye know how that afterwards when he have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. Because profane means outside the temple. Esau is a vile individual. He sold his birthright for one morsel of uncooked meat. No, but I'm reading verse 17. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, so Esau could have inherited the blessing, but he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Because when he, found out Jacob got the blessing, he went to his father and cried and wept, and that's when Isaac gave him a blessing, which he's in his blessing now that Isaac gave him. But he's going to be taken out of his rulership and brought low to captivity very soon. And this is the last one I'm gonna get because this is second Esdras 6 and verse 7. The second Esdras 6 verse 7 says, Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, and when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow it? It says, he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, because they were fighting in the womb, at that time. And when Esau came out, Jacob had his hand on his heel. I read verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. And Esau is the end of this wicked world, and Jacob is the beginning of a righteous existence forever. And that's the kingdom to come. That's the future. Righteous rulers and rulership and governing the earth in righteousness. That way the earth will be a paradise. While the wicked right now is in rulership, the earth is in mourning and needs new management. But that new management is gonna come where Israel is the everlasting rulers. So anyway, I'm gonna end it right here. I'm gonna say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakudash, the orange to the elder apostles, great millstone, and citation you all can teach all truth, sincerity, Shalom.